Hi all, welcome back to the course. In this video, we will talk about establishing a default value for a column. Now, the purpose of a default value is to speed up the data entry process. So we're using the same products table that we have been using throughout the demos. Now, you can see that we do have some data in this table already. So you've got the ID, you've got category name, price, manufacturer cost, quantity, in stock, and also you have the entry date. Now, what we'll do is at the moment, our entry date is based on manual inputs. So if you wanted to put anything in here, you need to enter your entry date. So as an example, just going to do one for electronics. We'll put gaming laptops, and this is 599.99. It cost our manufacturers for 50.99. We have 100 in stock. Now, but because we don't have any entry date as a default, so if I try to skip this, I won't be able to do that. Because in here, we get an error saying the entry date on your table is a required field, so you cannot skip it. So every time that you wanted to enter a product into your product tables, you've got to enter the entry date manually. So in this case, 2024 dash, we are in month 6 and today is 9th. So if I do that, now enter, you will see that our product is now in our product table. But instead of us doing this entry date each and every time, what I wanted to do is I want to default it to the system date. Now, to do that, we have a function in SQL Server which is called getDate. And what getDate does is it gets you the system date that you're currently on. So just going to do that as a demo for you to see how getDate works. Select getDate. This will give you the system date. So type select getDate, enter. And that gives you the date that you're after. So we'll use the same function, but this time we're going to use this in our products table design. So to do that, go on to Explorer object, again, products, right click, find the default value. We go on to the database, demo. Again, we will find our table, which in our case is the products table. I'd say right click, design. This will open up the design view from our table. And the column that we're interested in is the entry date. So I'd click on entry date. And then from entry date, if you look at your column properties, you would see you've got your column name, which is a entry date, allow nulls. We do not want to allow any nulls in here. And the data type for this one is date and time. And then you've got the default value of binding, which is this is where you would put your function in. So the function we used in our last screen was get date. Then get date, and then you hit enter. With entering, what you'd see is you'd see this asterisk sign on your table. So that means you've made some changes to your table which you've not saved yet. And to do that, you just do Control S. That will save your changes. Now that you've saved your changes, we're just going to say, so you've closed your design view. We've got the table open. We'll close. Now the table is closed. Let's just reopen the table with the latest function. So we've added the default values into our entry date. Now I'll come back, right click, say top 200. So with that, what we're going to do is now we'll add another entry, but this time I'm not going to type in the entry date. When I get to the entry date, I'll press enter. You'll see that the data will automatically populate. So now I'm going to go to this time. We'll add a clothing item. So we've got clothing. T-shirt, I'm just going to say shirt this time. So with the shirt added on, just say that is $35.99. Cost the manufacturers $19.99. I've got 250 of these ones in stock. But yeah, now I've tab. We are on the entry date. I'm just going to press enter. But now this time you see it says no. But if I do a refresh, you would see that the date for the last item which is shared, that's now added, and you've also got your timestamp. And so you've got 2024 09, sorry, 0609, and it was into 1335:46 UK time. Now, this is how you can do a default value. This was an example of the date time, but if you wanted to, you could do a default value for your category, for your name, for your price, and things like that. The only thing that would be different is going to be, well, in our entry date, we've used a function get date, but if I wanted to do something for products, let's say I want to have the products column. So I'm going on to here, say design. So that will open up in design, but this time I'm going to click on category. With category, I'm going to default everything to electronics. So that means it's going to be electronics. So that means if I don't put any default value in the category, it will default to the electronics. But if you wanted to overwrite it, you can overwrite as well. Now, if I hit enter on this one, uh, did you notice that the category is now electronics, but you've got a single quotes around it? So you've got single quotes, single quote, and you've also got the in character before electronics. And the reason for that is because electronic is a data type of string, which is characters. So characters in SQL Server are surrounded by single quotes. And the reason it has in before the electronics because it's the data type in varchar. So that means it can also include the Unicode, like things that you have in Latin characters, and those they are the non-Latin, which means special characters like the at underscore and all these symbols that you need to have in your data. In varchar will include those in your data also.